Is Xi Jinping's grip on power in China slipping? As the Chinese Communist Party faces mounting economic challenges, internal power struggles, and international pressure, whispers of dissent and instability are growing louder. From military purges to leadership reshuffles, from a collapsing export economy to a secret directive aimed at ending US dominance, the signs are clear. China's political landscape is shifting. In this video, we'll dive into the latest facts and updates to uncover whether Xi Jinping's iron-fisted rule is weakening and what it means for China's future. Let's get started. Xi Jinping has ruled China with an iron grip since 2012, consolidating power in a way unseen since Mao Zedong. He eliminated term limits, silenced critics, and placed loyalists in key positions across the communist. But in 2025, cracks are appearing in this carefully constructed facade. Economic turmoil, driven by US tariffs and a declining export sector, is fueling unrest within the party and among the Chinese people. A leaked internal directive from the Chinese Communist Party, reported in April 2025, reveals a bold and desperate strategy to seize the current global crisis as an opportunity to end US dominance in the economic, military, and political spheres. This directive, intended to rally the party, frames the US-China tariff war as a chance to reshape the global order. It calls for uniting European nations against the US, tightening control over capital outflows, and preparing for a fully planned economy in case of isolation. The language is striking. For decades, China's leaders focused on economic reform and integration with the global market. Now they're openly discussing a return to a closed Mao-era system, signaling a shift from pragmatism to ideology. But this bold rhetoric masks a deeper vulnerability. China's economy is in crisis. The three pillars of its growth, exports, infrastructure investment, and domestic consumption, are faltering. Exports, the backbone of China's economy, are collapsing under US tariffs of 145%, with some sectors facing rates as high as 245%. Factories in Guangdong and Zhejiang are closing, and millions of workers are unemployed. Infrastructure projects, once a driver of GDP growth, are now a liability. Ghost cities and unused high-speed rail lines symbolize wasted investment. The real estate sector, a key economic engine, is in freefall, with developers like Evergrande defaulting on billions in debt. Domestic consumption has never been a priority. China's economy was designed to manufacture for the world, not for its own people. The average Chinese consumer lacks the purchasing power to drive growth, and government policies discourage spending. Foreign direct investment is drying up. In 2024, net foreign investment in China dropped to its lowest level in decades, as companies like Apple shift production to India and Vietnam to avoid tariffs and geopolitical risks. These economic woes are putting pressure on Xi Jinping. The Communist Party's legitimacy rests on delivering prosperity. With factories closing and jobs disappearing, public discontent is rising, even in a tightly controlled society. Inside the party, Xi faces challenges from rival factions. A mysterious leadership swap in March 2025 saw the heads of the United Front Work Department and the Organization Department exchange roles, an unprecedented move in the party's history. The Organization Department controls personnel appointments, deciding who rises in the party. The United Front builds alliances with external groups and foreign entities. Swapping their leaders suggests a power struggle at the highest levels. Analysts speculate that Xi moved a loyalist to the Organization Department to tighten control over appointments, while relegating a less critical figure to the United Front. This move indicates XYZ, fear of losing influence over the party's inner workings. The military, another pillar of XYZ power, is also showing signs of instability. In April 2025, General He Weidong, vice chairman of the Central Military Commission, vanished from public view. His disappearance follows the purge of several high-ranking officers in the Rocket Force, China's missile division. These purges are unusual because the officers were Xi's appointees, promoted during his third term to ensure loyalty. Their removal suggests either corruption or dissent within Xi's own faction, undermining his control over the military. Xi has no military background, unlike past leaders like Deng Xiaoping. His 2015 military reforms aimed to modernize the People's Liberation Army and align it with US structures, but they also disrupted traditional power bases, creating resentment among senior officers. The rocket force, critical for any potential conflict over Taiwan, has been a particular disappointment. Reports from US think tanks in 2024 revealed deficiencies in the unit, possibly leaked by high-ranking Chinese officials, prompting Xi Jinping to purge its leadership. These military shakeups weaken China's readiness for conflict, despite Xi Jinping's aggressive rhetoric about Taiwan and the South China Sea. A military designed to suppress internal dissent, not fight foreign wars, is struggling to meet Xi's ambitions. The secret directive also hints at Xi's paranoia. It mandates that party officials repatriate overseas assets, with severe penalties for non-compliance, including death for high-ranking members. This move aims to prevent defection during a potential crisis. Many party elites have stashed wealth abroad, distrusting China's unstable system. By forcing them to bring money back, Xi is ensuring loyalty, but also alienating powerful figures who see their financial security at risk. Internationally, Xi's strategy to counter US tariffs involves rallying European nations like Germany and France against the US. The directive tasks the United Front with building a coalition to isolate America, leveraging shared frustration over tariffs. But this plan faces challenges. Europe relies on the US market far more than China's. No single country can replace the US as a consumer base, and China's export-driven economy cannot fill that gap. Southeast Asian nations like Vietnam are also distancing themselves from China. Vietnam has promised the US stricter controls on transshipped Chinese goods, aiming for a zero-tariff deal with Washington, not Beijing. China's Belt and Road Initiative, a cornerstone of its global influence, is faltering. Countries like Panama and Italy have cancelled contracts, and without export revenue, China lacks the funds to sustain these projects. The directive's call for a rationing system is perhaps the most alarming sign. It suggests China is preparing for economic isolation, a return to the planned economy of the Cultural Revolution era, when consumer goods were scarce and distributed by the state. This shift contradicts decades of reform that opened China to the world. It reflects Xyz fear that economic collapse could spark unrest, threatening the Communist Party's rule, and creating contradictions. Prime Minister Li Qiang is pushing to attract foreign investment, assuring the world that China remains open. Yet new laws and asset repatriation rules scare investors, reinforcing perceptions of an authoritarian turn. These conflicting signals highlight tensions between Xi and other leaders. Li Qiang, responsible for the economy, must prevent collapse, while Xi prioritizes ideological purity and party control, even at the cost of growth. The Communist Party's power structure is opaque, but revolves around the Politburo Standing Committee, a small group of 7 to 9 leaders who make major decisions. Xi has stacked this body with loyalists, but their loyalty may be wavering as economic and military crises mount. Retired leaders, once influential through advisory roles, have been sidelined by Xi. But in moments of crisis, such as rumors of Xi's health scare in July 2024, these elders may have reasserted influence, possibly stripping Xi of some military control. The party operates like a mafia, with loyalty to the leader paramount. But when the leader weakens, rival factions seize opportunities. Xi's health rumors, though unconfirmed, may have triggered a power grab, with decisions made in his absence becoming binding. The COVID-19 pandemic adds another layer of pressure. In April 2025, the White House launched COVID-19 Accountability, a website accusing China of causing a man-made disaster through lab leaks and cover-ups. This move, coupled with lawsuits seeking accountability, has put Xi on the defensive. China's refusal to allow independent investigations into the Wuhan lab has fueled global suspicion. The cover-up, including restricting domestic travel while allowing international flights, has damaged XYZ's credibility both at home and abroad. Xi Jinping. His vision of surpassing the US relies on a strong economy and military, but both are faltering. The purges, leadership swaps, and economic policies suggest a leader struggling to maintain control. Some analysts call this the most critical moment since World War II, not because of imminent war, but because the global order is shifting. The US is countering China's rise and Xi's response. Doubling down on ideology may accelerate China's decline. If Xi grip continues to slip, the Communist Party could face internal rebellion or public unrest. Without economic growth, the party's legitimacy crumbles, and Xi's dream of global dominance may remain just that, a dream. That's the story of Xi Jinping's faltering hold on power. As China navigates this turbulent period, the world watches closely. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more insights into global politics.